Hey, man. Come on, we got to hurry up, man, so I catch my spirit flight.
Go get that spirit flight.
Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with that. Shoot.
You going to be in a fold-out chair.
Hold up. Limitless. Niggas to me, can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision, I can trust. Limitless. Niggas to me, can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision, I can trust. Limitless. Niggas to me, can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.
Well, guys, welcome to The Pivot. It's been a while since we did a three-man show. It's The Pivot, a part of Fanatics. Speaking of, August 16th through the 18th, Fanatics Fan Fest in New York City. It's going to be crazy collectibles, memorabilia. We have different panels. We'll be there all 3 days at the Javits Center. I'm talking about from Tom Brady to Derek Jeter, Allen Iverson, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, Stephen A. hosting panel, Freddie T, Channing Crowder. You guys tap in, go online, get the tickets. It's going to be a crazy event. Released a video on our YouTube clips yesterday, releasing a social video tomorrow with Michael Rubin. Y'all check that out. Fred's boy. Fred's favorite player, athlete, father.
The worm.
Freaking, what else? What else is LeBron Fred's favorite of? Fashion designer, podcaster, probably. He'll watch the shop before he watch The Pivot, I'm sure, if LeBron on there.
He like the shop more than
he like the shop more than us. He be like, man, I wish I had LeBron and Maverick.
Hey,
they get all the good stuff. But LeBron James, which is, I think, a huge honor, will become the first basketball player on the U.S. men's national team to represent the entire country as the flag bearer at opening ceremonies. And I think this is an event that we all watch. One, because you're just in awe of the spectacle. And I think number two, like to realize, it's like that upper echelon. Like we're all 1% of the 1%, and then there are the Hall of Famers.
Yes.
And then there's a group of people who we even put in a different hall in the Hall of Fame that we see differently. That's almost what getting an opportunity to be the flag bearer is. Looking at that, Chan, what does it say about how far basketball has come in our country as it pertains to Olympic sports, but LeBron James in particular?
Man, it's so much. And any hater, because I done hated on LeBron before. And anybody that's saying the same thing I used to argue about, LeBron really ain't from the hood. He was a golden child at 16 years old. He ain't struggling. You look at him, honestly, it's how Freddie feels. This man is an amazing person, an amazing husband, an amazing father, and the second, and we can argue all day, we're not getting to that, the second best person I've ever seen touch a basketball in my life. And you know one's MJ in my mind, and that's, I think it's an age gap thing that we do that, right? For what he's done, not just for basketball, or in addition to basketball, so what he looks like as a role model, as a person, as an American, because you're talking about the Olympics. What he does is exactly what everybody should be, no matter what damn color you are. Like, I'm the best at my sport. I work extremely hard at what I do. I become amazing, great, elite, whatever word you want to put on what I do. And also as a human being, I'm that dude too. Hell of a father, entrepreneur, all this stuff he does. His boys he brought up. We had Rich Paul on. Like, all his boys that were back with him in the hood, they went to school and came up with him in the business. Like, just think about if everybody approached the world like LeBron. So for any hater out there, and I can be the hater of all haters sometimes.
Oh, you hate. You like Alasia.
Bro, I literally could find shit. Look at him, man, nigga tie his shoes funny. But like, I can find something to be upset about. Bro, LeBron deserves everything he has. I know we talked about how, and I feel as if Bronny's getting special treatment because of his daddy. Yes, he deserves that too. You talked about it.
Yeah.
He deserves to have nepotism or whatever it is, or, preference over people because he's LeBron James, man. And what LeBron did, I think, has encouraged so many people that even haven't been seen yet, so many young men, young black men, old black men like ourselves, and just really flip the switch on what the ceiling is on people's lives. And LeBron is an amazing person, man, and I think he should carry it. If Bronny want to carry it, If his old lady want to carry it,
Bryce.
Bryce, what's that? Who's that? That big bastard with the glasses? Bryce can carry it. Everybody can carry it. But LeBron James has set a standard for athletes on and off the field that I think nobody, including Michael Jordan and whoever else you want to put, nobody set a standard like LeBron has set right now.
I think the key, what you said, he set a standard. The last 20 years, he's been the greatest athlete, the greatest player in his respective sport, alongside Tom Brady as well. But in basketball, I think he's been the greatest. And we can all agree, and I'm sure LeBron would too, that this might be the highest honor, in his entire sports career and his entire life, maybe. I want to say representation matters. Channing, what you said was LeBron has been a guy who has always been seen in a positive light. He represented his league well. No bad story, no negative press, none of that stuff has followed LeBron. And going back to representation matters, this is an opportunity to put someone as iconic as LeBron in front of the world to represent the American people. We can't always say that in the conversation we just wrapped up when it comes to politics and in the leaders of the free world. We can't say that in terms of representation, but I think he's gonna do it's an easy job, but just to have him there, carrying that torch to begin the games is huge. No matter how much you guys say that's my favorite player.
It is.
I'm a fan of his career and what he's done. I think it's great for him, for his fans, et cetera, and I wrap that up.
Is hair dye flammable?
They wear berets and stuff though, so he might have a hat on.
Oh, okay, he gonna beret up, because I just don't. I don't want that torch to get too close to that.
He's probably gonna do something crazy.
Brian gonna have a beret on and probably a Dewey underneath it. My dog he try to keep the hair laid down.
What is he laying down?
I don't know. I asked David Mulligetta. I got a David card. He had a do-rag. I said, bro, what is this for? But apparently it's something.
David asked for the tennis ball when he go in the barbershop. Give me the tennis ball.
It's something these guys do. I agree with both of you guys on LeBron. There was just a list released of the top 100 athletes of the 2000s, so of this millennium. And number 1 was Michael Phelps. Number 2 was Serena Williams. Number 3 was Leo Messi, then LeBron James. I think when you look at individual athletes who don't play team sports, there's an edge they get from a perception standpoint because everything is on them, right? They have to be individually great in that moment in order to win. There is no Chris Bosh rebound pass to D-Wade, D-Wade hits the shot. There is no Kyrie scores 41, hits the winning shot over Steph Curry. So I think some of that goes into that decision. But when you think of iconic figures within the 2000s, LeBron James is one of the first names that come to mind, whether it was who he became in high school, in Akron, being the number 1 overall pick, dealing with the adversities he's dealt with, the way he's conducted himself away from the court, but also as much as it's been sort of this fairy tale story of having been the chosen one, because of that scrutiny, there were points, at least basketball-wise, where he had to deal with criticism. He had to deal with people saying he wasn't enough, and he found a way through that, whether you agree with the way he did it or not. I think it's such an accomplishment for a team player to have this honor, to represent the entire country. And I do believe that when you're the Olympic Committee and you're picking a person to represent your country, you're picking a person to represent your country.
Right.
You're not picking an athlete to represent your country. You are picking them based off of what they have shown the world publicly that they are. The way that they've conducted themselves, the way that they've presented themselves, the way that they have handled each and every experience in their life. And you can say, this should be the American way, right? When people see LeBron James with that flag, he's a representation of us all. Everything that he does, every level of greatness and excellence is going to be on display. And we're going to compare it to everybody else's flag bearer. Life is a competition, right? And we're going to look at somebody else's country flag bearer and ask how many championships they got.
That ain't wrong.
How many businesses they built.
That ain't
Yeah,
wrong.
you know what I'm saying? And so I think as much as I go into the debate of who's the greatest of all time, I'm actually proud that he's the flag bearer for the United States of America at opening ceremonies. He deserves it. If he has to represent us as our athlete in the opening ceremonies, I am 100% on board with it.
And I say, too, what Bron does, Bron makes a decision, unapologetically sticks with it, and succeeds.
Yeah.
Just bigger picture of thinking about it. Going to Miami, people criticize him. And I think the decision with Jim Gray and him, I think that was a bad decision on his part. Went down there and got him, too. Now I'm going back to Cleveland to get one for the land, give him hometown. Damn, why you going to go back there and play for them when he got him one? Now I want to slide to L.A. Criticism. Slid to L.A. and got him one. Like, just the thought of that, I'm going to make my own decisions. I'm going to manage and figure out my own career, my own life. But at every step, I'm about to find a way to succeed. No matter who I got to put around me, no matter what I have to do, no matter how hard I have to work. He went from place to place to place, succeeding with everybody else doubting those decisions. And I say, Bron, love you for it, brother. And I think he affected a lot of young men with those decisions he made and with the success that came on the backside.
For sure.
When we look at that, on the other side, though, there's the women's game, right? You just had WNBA All-Star, and the Olympic team played the WNBA All-Stars that had Arike Ogunbowale. I want to say her name correctly. I probably still butchered it. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. And the USA team ends up losing. I think they lost in 2021 as well. But the big thing that come out of that was Caitlin Clark's 2 assists away from breaking the record. Obviously, Arike goes crazy in the second half. I have never seen so many tweets and so much publicity, though, around the women's games. The people being excited about Caitlin passing the ball to Angel. I mean, Freddie T, they got to be excited about the way the game is moving.
Oh, without a doubt. You can look at what the networks, they just committed, what was it, $2.2 billion deal, or was that a licensing deal or a network deal, right? For the women's game. We talked about it some months ago, and we talked about the growth of the game. Caitlin being good for that, Angel being good for that, bringing that attention to their sport. One thing I know for sure that they're better at than the men's game, because the men are so naturally gifted, and all of them are a cheat code. The women game is so fundamentally sound, and they rely heavily on technique and running those plays. And you have every now and then where they can isolate and go and do their things and show how gifted or talented they are. But when you go back to fundamentals and you break the game down, they are amazing. I think they play harder than the men. They were in an All-Star game, but they were battling. The men's game, you see the men's kind of freestyling and playing kind of like at the park. And maybe they do that because they got 82 games plus playoffs, so this is their rest moment. But those women, like they were, Kelsey Plum, she taking elbows and D'ing up. And, just to see these women, see how their game is evolving and what we can see versus what we had seen a year ago, man, I think it's amazing. I'm happy they got that deal secure. I hope that means fatter paychecks, better health for them on the back end, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm excited in the direction that it's headed.
Man, it's personalities. That's what fuels the game. You'll see I got Iverson on, one of my favorite players ever, but his personality fueled the game, Freddie.
Yeah.
That fundamental thing kiss my ass. That's not fun.
No.
It's not fun. You know what I do like? And I've watched it.
If you love the sport, like I can watch football. I love watching
a good,
plays.
strong power play where they get 6 yards.
It ain't about the personality. I love watching, like I can watch the Steelers. I know I can look at them and say, all right, they're getting into it. But I'm heavy into the game that way. And some people are heavy into basketball that way and boxing that way. They look at the subtle things, and that's what they love. Now, maybe that doesn't sell tickets, and it might not even create views, but there's something about that a lot of people love over more so than personality. But you're right.
And
personality sell tickets.
Because I tell you, now the WNBA, and I put that more on the networks that weren't broadcasting it. Because I didn't even know. I'm not calling out anybody, but I just started hearing that, and Angel Reese about to play Asia Wilson. Oh, I want to watch that matchup.
Yeah.
I want to watch them girls get down low and
Yep.
get nasty. And I think the networks or the league, whatever that disconnect was, and I'm not blaming it on the league. I'm blaming it on the coverage of the league because right now, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark played, and we saw the build-up, and that was the most watched WNBA game to date. And I'm not gonna lie, I just used the example. When I saw Angel about to play Asia, I want to see that. That's Jordan versus Bird. That's what I want to see. Oh, Steph about to play Bron? Oh, I want to see. I'm not saying Warriors versus Lakers. I'm saying Steph versus Bron. And the WNBA is now getting to a point where we're having these names every day in our house.
Yeah.
And I want to see Asia play Angel. And I watched it, and Asia tore her ass up.
Yeah.
And Angel's young. So the next time they play, I want to see if Angel has figured it out and matured and got better, and now she can go back, and that's what I like to see. To your point, I was bullshitting like about the fundamentals. Like I don't care if there's a good pick and roll on the top side and they have a double screen. I don't want to see that shit. I want to see Angel Reese and Asia Wilson in the paint guarding each other every single play, and I'm gonna enjoy watching that matchup because I think that's where sports is really getting now, is getting the people, personalities, and fandom of a human, and I think WNBA now has so many humans that people love. I think now women's basketball is getting where men's sports are, where we used to say, oh, this team is good, that team is good. No. Hell with that team. I want to see her ball out. I never said that about Taurasi. I never said that about Candace Parker. I didn't feel that way about it. I don't know if it's because, I don't know why I did not feel that way when they played each other. But now I'm starting to say, oh, Caitlin Clark about to go see whoever. Oh, yeah, I want to see that. So who gonna drop? Caitlin gonna drop? Caitlin gonna get a double-double? I want to see her get a double-double. I never felt that way about the amazing female basketball players of our past. I'm starting to get there now, and it might be because, like I go back to my first point, the media side of it, the broadcasting of it, the excitement build up on networks and things like that, I'm getting caught up in that, and I want to see those matchups. And I think that's where women's basketball has took leaps and bounds over the last 6 months.
It's part of everything, right? I think it's part of the skill. It's part of the fundamentals of the way that an individual plays the game of basketball. And it's also the personality. And if you mix those together in the right way, you get stars.
Yep.
It's about stardom. It's about, can you draw me into the person? It's about the fact that every game now, every team's Twitter or Instagram, every ESPNW, every WNBA, what do? They do the when they walk into the stadium, all of the pictures, right? And you got some of them that's like dripped out this way. You have some of them dripped out another way, but they're drawing you into the people. If you like a certain thing about a certain player, they're giving it to you, right? And then they're showing what they're doing off the court. They're bringing you into the locker rooms, all of those different things, because they're giving you access to the human, because we get attached to the human.
Yes.
Right? Steph Curry playing at Davidson, it wasn't about Davidson. It was about this little light-skinned cat who was skinny, who was hitting threes everywhere. And so we bought into him in the NCAA. Then we watched him go to the league. It was the same way with Bron when he was playing in high school, right? We bought into him then and we watched him go to the league. They've now allowed us to get attached to these humans. And now that you're attached to these humans, Asia Wilson been the best women's player in the world.
Yes.
But now, because you want to see her play Angel, because Angel is a star, now you watch Asia Wilson and you're like, man, she is so dang good.
Yep.
And now you're learning about her personality. And it's such, and Fred mentioned how hard they played. What they do in the Olympic years is so smart, because if I'm not on the Olympic team, I want to show everybody why I'm supposed to be on the Olympic team, which is the way Enrique played, right? Which is why Caitlin was dropping dimes, why Angel was playing hard. And then if I'm on the Olympic team, I'm like, shoot, we got to go represent the country.
For sure.
I need to try to find a way to win this game. It's not going to be 190 to 200 because nobody cares until the fourth quarter because they want to try to win, and Bron's trying to keep his All-Star streak alive. And so I was excited that it was an entire weekend that we cared about. And yeah, they're not going to have the dunk contest, which stunk anyway for the men this year anyway, and they're not going to have certain things. But I think for what they are building with the women's game and putting the women in the forefront, they now have a chance to build off of this, and they can't let this dissipate during the Olympics? Because when they come back, they'll be up against football, which we all know is America's sport.
Top dog. I went to the Tournament of Champions. I'll be really quick. I went to the Tournament of Champions. The women's game is going to be okay. They have this team, the Iowa Tech, a team full of Caitlin Clarks. They just shoot from the parking lot. Philly Rise, Plex's daughter, she's like Ongubawale. You know, and some other girls out there that was just dogs out there. So these young women is trickled over into youth sports, and I think as they continue to develop and the media gets behind them, that game will be in a great place in the next 20 years.
But to your point, too, I say that, too, about me watching Angel Reese, who's on the show. I love Angel Reese. I love personality. I love her. Like you're saying, I'm a fan of her. But now her big next to her, Cardoza, that big girl be balling out.
Trinity Carter is the best player on the team.
The little red guard, bro, she be going crazy, and she got an edge to her. So, like, I go to watch Angel, but now I see Trinity. Now I see Cardozo. Now I'm seeing the girl. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? If they get traded, I'm going to go watch Trinity play if she was somebody else, because now I became a fan.
That's sport.
And that's what happens with sport. That's why we talk about Tony Kukoc. That's why we talk about B.J. Armstrong, because we weren't watching for Tony Kukoc. We were watching Jordan, and we like, damn, Tony Kukoc can shoot his ass off.
Like, people would say I became a Steelers fan because I was a fan of Ryan.
Yeah.
Or I became a Jaguars fan because I love the way you play, Freddie T. I don't think anybody ever said I'm a Dolphin fan because of Channing Crowder.
That's crazy.
Kiss
But
my
I do
busting
like
ass. How about
Tootsies.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I got me a sign that Tootsies on the back right there by the wall.
Crowder powder.
But that fandom though of that is what it is.
Yeah.
It's why the Peasies and the Foot and Potsy and them boys, is why I still love the Steelers, because of the fact that I appreciated what they did, and I met other people by appreciating those folks. You appreciate Caitlin Clark, then you know all her teammates, the little fever. You appreciate Angel, you're gonna know all her little Chicago Sky teammates. That's what's gonna happen, and that's how the game grows. Y'all call me what y'all want to. Frugal, tight on money.
I think cheap is.
You like cheap? But I like to save money. But fellas, I ain't gonna walk through no damn hot coals. I ain't doing too much to save the money. I just love to save money. But with Mint Mobile, for 3-month plan, it's $15 a month. It's no hoops to jump through, no BS. And listen here, it's easy to get. $15 a month. And the hardest part of, you know what it was the breakup with the old wireless plan, because they gonna give me the flam gullery. Mint Mobile got me.
I mean, for me, it's easy. Right now, my old wireless people, they just got hacked, all my information all over the internet. This is perfect timing, and you get the same thing. Unlimited talk, text, 5G, and it's cheap. Man, sign me up.
Dang, I mean, they got all your selfies too, huh, Freddie T?
All my selfies.
Well, if you want to get started, you just go to mintmobile.com/pivot, and it says it right there for you. 3-month plan, $15 a month. It's the perfect time for us too. We're about to get on our training camp tour. We got to be able to connect with the fam while we're gone. This is a perfect time for us.
Yep.
To get started, go to mintmobile.com/pivot. It's a 3-month plan, $15 a month, and it's an unlimited plan. So no matter where we are during our training camp tour, we can reach out, text, call, whatever we need, and we can get through to the fam.
See how easy it is to switch to Mint Mobile and get 3 months premium wireless for $15 a month.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/pivot. That's mintmobile.com/pivot. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/pivot. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for more details. Women's sports are growing, but it's how do they take what's happening in the WNBA and continue to build off of that? And I think that's what streaming, social media, and those things. I mean, because Simone Biles,
She's back.
I think they were talking about, I can't remember what country it is, but their gymnastics team is sending the most decorated team of men, right? Gymnastics of any country or of their country's history, something like that. And combined, all of those men have as many medals as Simone Biles has. Like, that's just how great she's been. But on her new documentary, Rising, it chronicles her dealing with the mental block in the last Olympics and having to withdraw. And it just says that no matter who you are, you have to be right here in order for this to function. It's also our boy J.O. is in it. And it's so good to take you back through like the comeback. Seeing somebody like Simone struggle in the Olympics, what does that tell you about the pressure of those events?
It's everything on your shoulders and them individual sports too. You even said it recently in an interview, having an interview, like if I'm at linebacker, miss a tackle, you make the tackle 2 yards later, I don't look that bad.
Yeah.
If I'm on that damn beam and I fall off and bust my head, who gonna make that tackle? So I think the pressure and the mental side, we talk about a lot of mental health. Michael Beasley episode, he was speaking about, saying, and off the court or off the field of what you do physically and inside your mind, like that's where everything's won. People talk about the Mamba mentality. People talk about how Michael Jordan in the documentary, where he literally was throwing a quarter against the wall, but he'd be pissed if he lost.
Yeah. Like
the mentality of being a Jordan, a Kobe, of these great players, it has a lot to do with this. We all know that guy. Paul, y'all heard me talk about him. That was faster than you, stronger than you, more athletic than you, better athlete than you, whatever it was, and you saw it all in him. So why did he not make it to the league?
Yeah.
It's something more to it. And so even Simone, who is, like, to your point, the baddest thing, I don't know, ever to step on a mat. I don't know how to speak about gymnastics, but she's the baddest thing I've ever seen that flips and jumps and twirls and twists, all that stuff, and we know it because of our medals. She's just as strong mentally as she is on that floor, on that beam, on that horse, on that whatever them damn things are they be on. Her mental side has to be stronger than everybody else out there that she's whooping ass around the world year after year, decade after decade.
Yeah, it's a huge psychological impact of being the person or the guy or the woman or the main attraction. You know what I mean? Yeah. What she went through in 2020 and backing out. I'm sure at some venture, it still weighs heavily on her. You have to question her support system at that particular point in time. She's done a great job in the mental health community of advocating for mental health, anxiety, depression, etc. Now it's her time to return to the sport that she loved. I think one of the big differences is, and this is where we were attacked, well, J.O. was attacked after coming on our show, the catch and this and that. Her support system, I believe, is much stronger now than it was then. And the way he's gonna back her and the way he loves her and how they love up on each other. And she's not gonna feel that extra pressure that she felt in 2020. I believe just the simple gesture of their love is gonna determine whether or not she feels that added pressure. I believe she's gonna go to Paris and go lights out and go crazy and win gold in every event, or at least that's what I hope. But I don't think she'll succumb to the pressure in which she did back in 2020, which led to her withdrawing. So I'm really looking forward to watching her. And again, having that person that draws you to a sport. I don't think I would ever really watch the gymnastics. But Simone is there. She was on our show. J.O. was on our show. Certainly wanted to support them. Certainly want to see how well she does. And I'm rooting that she goes out and represents herself, her family, and this country, on the highest level. So that's where I am.
Period, point blank. To me, Simone Biles is the greatest Olympian the United States of America has ever had. There are going to be the conversations between her and Michael Phelps, obviously. And to know that Simone Biles, who is so good, they're starting to name certain moves after her, could also have a mental block where she felt like she couldn't be herself. Not only couldn't be herself, wasn't good enough. When all you've shown your entire career is that you're better than everyone else. And Freddie T mentioned Jonathan. Think about what the Chicago Bears are doing in an unprecedented move. They're giving him days off of training camp when football is king and it's all we care about. It's all we live for. It's the way that not only he will feed his family, but other people in that building will feed their families. They're giving him days off to go watch her compete, to be able to support her. And if you remember on our show, he said when she was dealing with it, he had to be on the phone with it.
Yep.
That goes to support system. That goes to the people you have around you and the way they help you get through difficult times. But I also think what Rising, the Netflix documentary, shows is that like trauma presents in so many different ways. What Simone Biles went through as a young woman, as a young girl, isn't often documented. Isn't documented that you were separated from siblings, that you grew up with grandparents, that your mother had to deal with certain things that now put you in situations where you had to learn to become an adult by yourself. And now you add to that all of the stuff that was going on within the gymnastics community of the United States and the way that those young girls and young women were treated. You think about all of that on top of the pressure of being the greatest Olympian, at least in my opinion, the greatest female Olympian for sure, that's ever lived. And when you start to doubt, now it has to bring into question, well, maybe that's why that happened, because I wasn't good enough. Or maybe this is why this was allowed to happen, because I wasn't good enough. And now to have to do that when individually you are solely responsible for your outcome, I couldn't imagine that level of pressure. So to watch her fight through that and in 2023 have an opportunity to come back and again do something we've never seen or only seen one other time, and they just name it after her again and not even know how to score it, it just says what she's built of, what she's learned through adversity and her experiences. And I'm extremely excited to see what she does at the Olympics and how historic that could possibly be for her, for her family, and for us as a country, because I think she is one of the greatest representations that we have as well.
All the athletes gonna be able to get there. If we have another crazy outage, that was insane, right? What was you doing when it happened? You were in the airport?
No, I was at the hotel, and I said, well, look at there. I just thought it was a little rainstorm or something. I look on my phone and see the whole damn world went out. I enjoy it, though. I don't like technology. I want to go right back to caveman time.
But what you did with XNXX, though, during that time?
I already finished. I used to do that in the morning.
So by the time the outage hit, you had already attacked your little man.
I was ready. Yeah.
You were free.
He was beat up. He was shaking already.
Yeah, he was shaking out. Yeah.
I see. But listen.
Did you shower? Do you shower after? Or no? Like you
shower. It's me on me. I'm shower.
He said me on me.
It's me and me.
Hey,
1v1.
Okay, well, who washed your drawer? Because I know you dripped the rest of the day, so, or at least
drip.
Nah, but we
Quick white bullet.
we definitely
That's crazy though, man. That the whole world could go out.
We're one glitch away from complete chaos. Like we're so tied in and stuck on technology, and it's a gift and a curse. But I don't know if like we can go back to analog and all that. Like it would just be tough. I can probably do it for a week or two, but after that, man, anxiety gonna kick in. I'm gonna go crazy.
Honestly, though, I couldn't for sure. But honestly, it was the first time I went, I see why people built bunkers for Y2K. Because you got to think, we weren't even as dependent on technology in 1999 as we are now. But everyone was anticipating that the entire world would go haywire and and technology would fail us and all of these different things. And for a morning, we didn't have it and people were stuck in airports. I was stuck in airports the entire day. One of Jordan's friends, Benjamin Morrison, who's going to be a first round draft pick, he had to get to his sister's wedding from New York. He had to get a driver to drive him from New York to DC to hop in the car with his brother-in-law so they could drive from DC to Raleigh, North Carolina for a wedding that was that day.
Man.
Right? It was back to caveman time. I wondered they would have to map quest that hoe in order to get there. But we did get up. No graphics, no prompter, no video, right? Like it was basically everything was a podcast.
Yeah, they pay you to pivot.
And like that part of it was kind of cool because it lets you know, it brought us back to like, oh, these are certain things I can do in life that I thought I needed technology for that I actually don't. Obviously, we can't fly without it though.
Yeah.
So we need that. But that was kind of like cool for a second. But I'm glad it's gonna be up because we got the training camp tour starting. This is the third one? It's the third training camp tour.
3.
Third training camp tour. We'll start at Mitchell and Ness though. We'll start it out at Mitchell and Ness this week. Get us some throwbacks, right? Get ourselves ready for the tour. Then we'll hit different spots. What is something, or what is a theme or a team or player that you're interested in throughout the training camp tour?
Oh man, that's good. I'm interested in what Philly's gonna do. I'm interested in Hurts and to see, because they fell off into last year. I don't know what that was about, but I'm interested in how they bounce back, what they do there. I'm interested in these damn Cowboys and Dak. And can he prove me wrong? Can Dak prove me? Didn't know what it said. And to be honest, now we're talking about people that I've just criticized that I don't know if they'll punch me in the face if they ever see me. I'm interested in the Steelers. I'm interested in Russ.
He would not punch you in the face.
But-
I actually saw him boxing as a workout.
Yeah,
He ain't gonna punch you, coach.
I just
Nah, he ain't gonna
know
punch you,
that.
coach. You
But
good.
with the quarterback situation there, I'm interested in that. Knowing Mike T like we do.
Yeah.
You blessing Freddie T and myself and getting in that Steeler family that we know now, and just seeing how it's funny from the outside looking in, but being like, damn, I can go on this side if I want to.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how Pittsburgh plays out, knowing that Mike T is not going to lose 9 games, but who's going to be that quarterback for the entire 17? I'm very interested in the Steeler outcome at quarterback.
Obviously, y'all know I'm a homer, so Jacksonville is always, a team that I'm interested in. Plus, we'll have an opportunity, hopefully, go there, check them out. The Texans, another team in that division, bringing in Steph on the offensive side, Daniil Hunter on the defensive side. I think he's just going to make, that defense that much better over there. So they might have the most complete roster in the entire NFL. They're strong everywhere. I mean, just backing it out, looking at their entire roster, they're strong everywhere. Now they just got to go play injury-free and get it done. CJ, I'm excited for CJ and what he's going to do in year 2. The Ravens, also another team, especially after Jim Harbaugh's comments regarding Lamar. So he's going to go down in history as being the greatest quarterback. What that means is he's going to have to get over that hump and win some championships, because those quarterbacks their greatness comes on the heels of how many championships can you win. And until that happens, that is yet to be determined. But I love the comment, though. Harbaugh just getting with his quarterback saying, I back my guy, I love my guy. And now as a player, hearing your coach speak that way of you, you're going to give everything you have. You're going to do everything right. You're going to lay it all out on the line just to try to prove him right, because he's showing that sort of confidence in you and he's making it known to the entire world. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do, along with the addition of Derrick Henry. So that should be pretty exciting as well. So those are my 3 teams on the AFC side that I want to check out.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the training camp tour in general, man. I know we'll go to Atlanta, we're going to go to Cleveland. We'll obviously be in Pittsburgh. We'll head out to the West Coast. We'll see the Rams. We'll see the Raiders. And I think it's always a time for us where you get to have the feeling of being around the boys again.
Yeah.
And those sit-downs, when we do them at training camps, they're different, because it's the atmosphere of football around. As relaxed as you can get people, they ain't relaxed like that. You can see that their engines are revving up, and like the heat of training camp as well. You catch a cat 2 weeks in the training camp, he threw hands by now. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point.
He just did Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Oh,
he was 10 times nicer at his house than he was when we saw him 2 years ago in L.A.
Great human.
But
he barely spoke to us in L.A.
What up, bro? Yeah, bro. I'm here for you. How you doing?
Give me one of your favorite training camp stories.
Ooh, my first training camp. Coming in, supposed to be a first rounder, knowing I could play ball, All-American out of college. And my man, close friend of mine to this day, Big Vernon Carey from UM. He's starting right tackle. And I run around and try a little college swim move on an NFL tackle. Third play, a full pass, and he threw me into the chain link fence on the side of the field. And it was like that wake up, the welcome to the NFL moment.
Yeah.
It was that, like, I remember to this day, I can go to the spot on the Dolphin field up in David, that old facility where it happened, because when I'm running back to the huddle, I looked and I was like, these are not kids anymore.
Yeah.
This man got a mortgage. You know what I'm saying? But at that point, it's funny because his son in the NBA, Lil Vernon Jr., this man had children, and I'm over here doing a little bink bink. And he caught me under the elbow and bink my ass and threw me all the way into the chain link fence on the side of the field. And it just clicked in me that, man, let me tighten up, because now this ain't, you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. These jokers out here to play ball. So that was my third play of full pads in training camp.
I think for me, aside from the sweet and tangy wings at Silver Fox after practice.
Oh, wow. Is Silver Fox a strip club?
Yeah. We used to go there. We just used to go for the wings.
Silver Fox is bad.
Yeah, just in and out.
Will.
Yeah, just in and out. Get the wings, the sweet and tangies, head back to the hotel, go in the lounge, play Madden, get some ice cream after that. You had to have snacks, go shut it down.
I had some ice cream, man.
The training camp pranks, those were always the best, just seeing players prank each other. I had a linebacker, Darryl Smith. He took a lot of eggs from the player eating lounge, the training table. He smashed them up, put them in a Gatorade bottle, and stuck holes in it. And he hid it under somebody's shoulder pads deep under the bottom part of your locker. And after about 5 days, those eggs started to stink, and Buddy would come around his locker every day like, what's that smell? And we just be in the corner cracking up, bro. So that was one of my favorites. And then the one that Josh Scobie and the Kickers did to Dave Garrard, they took his keys out of his pants, took his car, they wet it up. They hosed it down, brought all the powder, baby powder.
Hosed the inside down?
No, they hosed the entire outside down and brought baby powder from the training room, parked it at the 50-yard line on the practice field. And when we got out there, the whole car was just covered in white baby powder because Dave was messing with the Kickers. So just the training camp pranks, so many of them, that brings back so many memories, right? But that helps you get through camp. Those jokes, the plan around, it'll either piss you off or it's gonna help you fly through camp. So, man, I miss being in that locker room. That's my favorite memory.
The most vivid camp memory I have a ton, but the one I think of as soon as I think of camp was the day Antonio Brown got his money. In a moment I'm not proud of now, he was walking, and it was the day before, and I was like, he's gonna be difficult to deal with when he get his money. And I said it out loud. I shouldn't have said it out loud. I will say that. He gets his money, we're doing one-on-ones. Keenan's playing defense on him, and man, he routing Keenan up. I'm talking about killing him. So Keenan holding him down. It's all kind of stuff going on. He's like, tell him don't hold me, I'm the franchise. Woo, woo, woo. He talking big, right? So Coach LeBeau, who never really says anything, he's like, man, get to the huddle. So he cussed Coach LeBeau out. And then Ike, Dickie? He gonna cuss Dickie? So now Ike fired up, you know what I mean? And so, man, like, he's steady going. So, like, there's a picture of it. Me and him face to face, Todd Haley in between us, Scotty Montgomery in between us. And I was telling him, I was like, man, this is gonna be it. I was like, you're never gonna spend any of that money, because I'm gonna finish it today. And man, I remember, like, we fired up, and Troy looked at me, and Troy never snapped his helmet, and he always had his hair in a bun. And he looked at me, and he would never wear gloves. He looked at me and he went, I said, oh, it's a different type of day now.
Yeah.
Now we blitzing, I'm flipping running backs that's trying to get to me. Troy slinging Ben around. We fighting every snap. We had to do it on our team named Kill Switch. Kill Switch hitting people across the middle on slants. Like, we lost total control of it. Then at the end, Ike and AB had got into it, and Ike's helmet came off, so AB's face mask, like, cut Ike right there. Literally, bro, as slow as it could possibly be. Ike stood up. We break it down now. And Ike pigeon-toed as hell. Ike stood up. He ain't say a word. Break it down. He's taking his gloves off. Walk over to him. Fa. Bro, these boys start fighting on the field, dog. They're fighting on the field. And Ben being the peacemaker, Ben gonna tell me, get him, RC. I stayed the hell I wish I would. He need to get beat up.
Yeah.
And obviously we needed him. He was one of the best players on the entire team. But like, it was that type of atmosphere that day. Like, we knew how good he was. We knew how hard he worked. But like, we were also the reason.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason we felt like the reason we were there was because of the man you cussed out.
Yeah.
Was because of the players you was beefing with. And man, when he started beefing with Keenan Lewis, bro, started cussing Keita, then he cussed Dickey. That's a day of football I will never forget, man. In all of my years, it's the most physical day of practice I've ever seen.
Ain't that something? I mean, do you guys believe that the practice, whether it's good or bad, is determined on the energy that the defense brings?
No, I think both sides of the ball can set the tone. Even being a defensive guy, both sides of the ball can set the tone.
But if the defense ain't defensing,
Yeah.
and they not flying around and talking that shit, then the practice ain't the same. For me, I love my defensive guys. I hung out with the defensive guys.
Yeah.
Because those are the guys that got everything lit. And if we had a good day,
players.
it was the defense.
Defensive guys are the real ball players.
I wouldn't say that,
Offensive
but
guys run lines and do exactly what y'all are told. We freestyle a little bit. We
yeah,
play
y'all
ball.
do that. Y'all are a lot of assholes on that side. Y'all are hard-headed. But I love y'all. That's why I love doing the show with y'all. Y'all two defensive guys. I still break y'all down, though.
I think the thing I always respected was the offensive player who was ready to fight. Mm-hmm. The offensive player who was about that action. And it wasn't that we had to actually fight, it's that I had to know that you would. Mm-hmm. Because I felt like from the family standpoint, if you'll get at me, like, cause I know who I am, I know what I'll do, then I believe you'll get at somebody with me.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I wanted. I wanted to know on Sunday when we walked out there, you know, even though Hines Ward ain't have no ACLs, he was 97% body fat. He was gonna put that face mask on somebody and they was gonna feel it. You know, like that.
How much percent body fat?
97.
They say Hines' mama ate all the rice. Dude.
Oh!
That was Quez.
That is a show!
Hines, no. Hines, no.
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision, I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling